Before you start watching, please subscribe to my channel, I would be very pleased. On a hill immersed in dense fog stands alone an ancient house known as the House of Sorrow. With its grim beauty and ominous reputation, it attracts the curious and the desperate. The House of Sorrows was built many years ago, but no one remembers its supposed owner's reason for its creation. At first glance it appears dilapidated and abandoned, with cobwebbed windows and ancient carved thresholds. There were rumors among the locals about the House of Sadness. It was said that it was cursed, and that anyone who dared cross its threshold would never return. Those who dared go near it claimed to have heard inexplicable whispers, seen ghostly shadows slithering through the corridors, and felt the cold pierce through them to the fire. Despite some incidents, however, they managed to find the secret of the House of Sadness. They gathered on a night when the moon rose high over the hill and set out on a daring adventure. With their first step onto the threshold of the house, an uneasy feeling gripped them. The air inside was saturated with dust and the smell of old age. The antique paintings on the walls seemed to come to life, observations of apparitions following their every step. As they penetrated deeper and deeper into the house, inexplicable things began to happen. Objects moved on their own, the silence of the night was interrupted by ominous sounds, and shadows in the corners of the room came to life, taking on frightening shapes. The researchers concluded that the House of Sadness was not just an abandoned structure, but a place where a sinister entity lived, feeding on the fear of its victims. They encountered numerous ghosts, cursed souls who were gripped by dejection and sadness. As the night wore on, they encountered increasingly dangerous scenarios. Their own fears and paranoia began to play a cruel joke on them, continuing to act on their minds and test their survival. But despite all the horrors, they continued onward, determined to penetrate the darkest corners of the House of Sorrows. They opened locked rooms, deciphered adult records, and searched for answers to the mysteries of this sinister place. With each step deeper into the house, they uncovered more and more frightening secrets. It turned out that it had been cursed by powerful magic and found itself in a time loop where events repeated themselves over and over again. Those who succeeded in penetrating the homes of the voters were confronted with the power of evil, a spirit that was bound to this gloomy space. She wallowed in her grief and despair and became a curse to all who dared trespass into her sad home. They realized that the only way to lift the curse and destroy the woman's spirit is to find the source of her grief and soothe her soul. They investigate the restoration ritual, which leads to many cases of contamination, and shut down all dangerous business and compassion for the anger of the lost soul. When the ritual was completed, the House of Sadness began to gather, with a noisy crash and rumble. They ran through the corridors until they were there, seeing the house disappear in flaming clouds of flame. Freed from the curse, they parted in different directions, each with their own baggage of horrors and escapades they had acquired in this deadly ordeal. The House of Sadness no longer stood on the hill, but its history and legend lived on in the hearts of those who dared to clash with the dark forces and survive. Thus ended the story of the House of Sadness, which took place with horror, mysticism, and tears. It has since become a warning to those seeking adventure in forbidden realms, and a hint that entities, curses, and mysteries may lurk in the most unexpected corners of the world.